I don't know what stage of grief I've hit that I just like simply like I'm at the nihilistic stage. I simply could not give less of a let them eat cake, I guess, but like I'm not talking about the rich billionaires in France. I'm talking about all of the idiots that have no concept of civic policy, of the way that government is supposed to work, of the way that the global order works, of any concept of anything involving government. Let them eat cake. All of them. Let them get what they voted for. That is where I'm at mentally. And it's hard. And it sounds harsh. It sounds so harsh. And I wouldn't defend this, I don't think, if I was pushed on it. I think I would crumble in a bit. But no, actually I would, because my entire family is Macedonians. Like, I live with Macedonians, I work with Macedonians, I am friends with Macedonians. My entire extended family is Macedonians, and I don't want to say that this is the case for all of them, okay? But there is a significant amount of, not just my family, but of Macedonians across the world, anyone that voted for Trump, okay? There's a significant percentage of them that do not know what the three branches of government are supposed to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's like an intellectual thing. Well, there is a little wrong with that, but I'm not saying that it's like I'm so smart and you guys are so stupid that you don't know anything and that's why you're not voting Democrat. But when I try to explain to someone that doesn't know anything about the way that the electoral college works, about the way that the primary system works, about the way that the electoral process works, when I try to explain to them why it is so bad and so disqualifying that Donald Trump went behind the back of every governor, of every public official, of every state of everyone, went behind the backs with his 77 co-conspirators, right? And created a fraudulent slate of electors to then send into Mike Pence to have Mike Pence accept those electors. That would be the equivalent of me going and asking someone to sign the piece of paper to say Donald Trump won New York, and then just sending that to Mike Pence. I have no authority to do that, and neither does Donald Trump, and that is illegal. And this has been proven in a 137-page report released by Jack Smith, the volume 2 of his report when he dismissed his cases against Donald Trump on the stolen documents case and on the January 6th electoral fraud case. I don't know what the official title was, but it's so clearly laid out, and it's so clearly illegal. And like, trying to explain that to someone who has no concept of any way that the government works, it's like, well, he's the president, why is that illegal? Well, he thought that there was going to be fraud, why is that illegal? Well, they thought that there was fraud, why is that a bad thing? It's like, it's trying to explain cirrhosis to an alcoholic that just started drinking, like, but why do I have to worry about that now? But I'm not going to let it get that bad. But it's okay, I'm just drinking like a couple shots a night. I like drinking. It feels good right now. Like, they don't care about the long-term repercussions of their actions. They're only caring about the short-term, does it feel good? Does it sound good? And Donald Trump sounds good. Donald Trump feels good. That's his whole thing. The only reason why he has this support, despite every fact being against him, is because he's able to harness people's fears and hatreds and contort them into something that he's going to fix. But that's all he's doing. All he's doing is acknowledging people's prejudices and focusing in on that and honing in on that. He's not actually providing any policy or any solution. It's like putting a 4th grader in charge of the fucking White House. Like, how would you stop immigration? How would you stop people from coming into the country? I don't know. I guess I'd probably just like close the door on them. Oh my gosh, yes, we should just close the border. We should just build a wall. Like, I don't have any experience with dementia-riddled elderly seniors, but I do have a lot of experience with toddlers, and so sometimes I will leave for work and my little sister will ask me, why do you have to go to work? And I'll say, because I have to. And she'll say, can't you just not go to work? And I'll say, no. And she'll say, why not? You could just stay home. And I'll look at her and I'll be like, I wish I could, but that's not the way the world works. You'll understand when you're older. And I like, why isn't anyone doing that to Donald Trump? You want to just establish an external revenue service to collect taxes on countries that is not a thing that we do? To collect duties from NATO that is not a thing that we do? Like, what? Like, pat, Nice try, buddy. Not gonna work. Not the way that the world works. So close. Try again. You're gonna just go up to Mars. You're just gonna colonize Mars. Pat, buddy. That's just not the way that it works. You're just gonna take Mexico. You're just gonna take Canada. You're just gonna take Greenland. Like what? Like why is no one just like, I wish I could, but that's not the way that we do it. It's not the way that the world works. The biggest thing that's irritating me is that he thinks that people like him and that these people are like supportive of him and that they like adore him. Like he's delusional and narcissistic enough to think that people actually enjoy him and that they want him when he's just a grift. When he's like the majority of people that are with him, I'm not talking about like the people on the ground, right? I'm not talking about like the people voting for him. I'm talking about the people around him. You don't think that those people know what's going on? Do you think that they actually believe what they're saying? Are you fucking kidding me? No one with half a brain would. Like, these people are grifters. They're crazy. They're either like evangelical, like Christian, like biblical types that think that Donald Trump is like the next Messiah that's gonna save the country and he was chosen by God and saved by God, or they know exactly what they're doing. They're looking for any opportunity to advance their own political careers, and they know that Donald Trump is the easiest, quickest way to do it, and that there's literally no downside. All you have to do is be a dick and suck his dick, and you get on his side, and then you get on his good side. That's it. But he doesn't think that. Like, he thinks that people actually like him. He thinks that people actually like fuck with him. Like, it's embarrassing, bro.
It is my hope that our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country. As our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old, men and women, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, rural, and very importantly, we had a powerful win in all 7 swing states, and the popular vote, we won by millions of people.
I'm not saying that none of that is true. I'm just saying I wasn't hearing any of this when Joe Biden did the same thing in 2020. I'm just saying I wasn't hearing this from the Republicans. I wasn't hearing Republicans acknowledging that Joe Biden was beloved by the entire country and that the entire country accepted him just because he happened to win by a couple million marginally in a couple states. No one on the Democratic side was saying that because we have a brain. And everyone on the Republican side is saying that just because Donald Trump won 49.9% of the vote and 7 swing states by marginally, I think it was like a combined of like less than like 200,000 votes or something. Like, for them to think that that is an automatic, the entire country must accept him and just take it down, just take it in the back. Like, what? Like, what?
To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day. In his honor, this will be a great honor. But in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
These people have no idea what this man stands for. And like, that's the embarrassing part, is that if you know anything about Donald Trump, he doesn't fucking respect Martin Luther King Jr. Are you kidding me? He doesn't know anything about Martin Luther King Jr. or his teachings or what he stood for. Like, he doesn't care about any of that. He just sees Martin Luther King Jr. as a black guy that people like. Same thing with Obama. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like,
this is Martin Luther King on steroids. Okay, now I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2.
What a joke. He was talking about Mark Robinson, who, by the way, said on a porn chat board, a porn site called Nude Africa, he said on a porn site chat board that should slavery come back, he would be in line to buy a slave. Look at him. Who is gonna tell him? He called himself a black Nazi. He went on and on about how he enjoyed getting pissed on by his wife's sister. He went on about being a peeping Tom in high school in his younger years. He's a Holocaust denier. That's public. All the other stuff was on a porn chat board, but like, that's public. He's a Holocaust denier publicly and proudly. And Donald Trump called him better than Martin Luther King Jr. This is what else Donald Trump has to say about Martin Luther King.
A small number of people relatively going to the Capitol, but you never see the picture of the crowd. The biggest crowd I've ever spoken, I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, same number of people. If not, we had more. And they said he had 1 million people, but I had 25,000 people. But when you look at the exact same picture, and everything's the same because it was the fountains, the whole thing, all the way back to from Lincoln to Washington, and you look at it, and you look at the picture of his crowd, my crowd, we actually had more people.
I don't think that I'm wrong in saying this confidently. I don't think that this is a hot take. Donald Trump literally just sees Martin Luther King as a black guy that people like, and he thinks that people like him more than him. He sees Martin Luther King as a guy that historically people like, that's a black guy, that people like historically, and I want people to like me more than that black guy that they liked historically. That's it. That's all. That's it. These people, they're all cheering. They're all cheering for him. Why? Because they have no clue what he believes, what he stands for, or they do, and they're all fucking grifting. Either way, like either you're ignorant. That's it. Either way, you're ignorant. Either way, you're either ignorant to reality, or either way, you're either a fucking idiot thinking that grifting this hard is gonna get you where you want to be in life. I hope everyone in this room cries themselves to sleep at night. Barron looked like he wanted to kill himself the entire time. Sorry. Like the people that actually know what Donald Trump is capable of and actually know like what he's doing, I bet they're scared. I bet they're terrified.